absolutely breaking news. It's shocking, or actually maybe it's not shocking for you depending upon what angle you're coming from. But we actually have Jill Stein actually out here telling people straight up to actually vote for Donald Trump. So this is pretty crazy news. So obviously a lot of people are out here accusing Jill Stein of like supporting Trump or helping Trump emerge victorious. It's effectively impossible to argue against the idea that her candidacy is definitely going to help Donald Trump. There's pretty much no way to argue around that. But what Jill Stein's defense typically would be, hey, we're not voting for Trump, we're just voting for Jill Stein, right? We're given another option. But now she's actually liking messages endorsing voting for Donald Trump. So this is the post on Instagram. So it's this post on the left here with Biden and Kamala Harris. So if you don't know, what ended up happening was in the state of Nevada, she's actually not on the ballot in the state of Nevada. So the Nevada Supreme Court had decided that she's actually not on the ballot. So it says local news, Green Party ineligible, Nevada Supreme Court decides. The Nevada Supreme Court ruled 5-2 on Friday that the Green Party made mistakes in its effort to qualify for the Nevada ballot. The ruling that the Green Party's petition obtained signatures using incorrect language in the affidavit. The ruling means Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein is ineligible for the ballot. Polls have shown Stein with about 1% of Nevada votes. That's huge, by the way. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently dropped out of the race, getting about 7% of the polls. And so because this is in the state of Nevada, it's the state Supreme Court, this should be final. There's a bunch of other rulings that are happening, but a lot of them are temporary because they're just going through the appellate system. This one is at the top of the Supreme Court in Nevada. I don't even know if the Supreme Court of the federal government would have any jurisdiction over this case. I'm not sure what they would have. I don't think they would have like diversity of jurisdictions. So I'm not sure what jurisdiction they would have to even hear the case. So hopefully it ends up being final, but she is off the ballot, which is huge in Nevada because Nevada is looking to be very, very close. But this is the post that she makes. It says, win for Democrats is war on democracy. You can see Biden saying, ha, ha, ha. And then you have him laughing, holding papers saying, so the Greens got 3 extra signatures in Nevada. And then Kamala says, yeah, but we gave them the wrong paperwork, Joe. So, and then democracy, ha, ha, ha. They're laughing about it. And I guess you have the donkey here doing this. So this big allegation against the Democrats that they're anti-democracy. Now, normally I would agree that obviously hoping for people to be off the ballot is obviously like the idea is it's anti-democratic. But what happens when you lead to a paradox where the guy who's running against you is actually literally anti-democracy, where he attempted to overthrow the election. He likely is going to do this. He actually openly said, and not likely, he's going to. He's openly said that he's going to deny the election results. So you have an electioner who doesn't believe in democracy. So it might sound paradoxical, but it's actually pro-democracy to get her off the ballot, as crazy as that sounds. The reason is your opponent doesn't believe in democracy. So it's actually pro-democracy almost in a paradoxical way. It's kind of like to boost people's freedoms, you have to take certain people's freedoms away, right? You have to take away someone's freedom to murder someone to instill the freedom of not being murdered, right? That's the only way to do it. So when you take someone to jail for murdering someone, you're taking away their freedom, but it's to maintain the freedom of others, right? So it's paradoxical. So I would say what they're doing is actually pro-democratic, as crazy as that sounds, because you're trying to preserve democracy by going after the opponent. And what we know is you are not going to actually do anything in terms of being able to help the election. And I think in an ideal scenario, you wouldn't actually have to take Jill Stein off the ballot because she just wouldn't be on the ballot, right? She wouldn't be there. She would know that obviously she's not going to be able to actually win anything, and instead she's just helping Trump, obviously, right? So what we can see is there's a comment on her Instagram post that she actually liked, and you can see this. I did confirm this, and so you can go check this out on Instagram yourself, unless she takes it down. But you can see it says hearted by the author. So she's endorsing this comment that he left. So this guy says, the Dems need to be stopped. Either vote for Trump, or if you can't, just then vote green. Either way, this nonsense needs to stop. So she liked some of the tweets or the response that were posted there on Instagram. And so she's literally endorsing voting for Donald Trump. Not only is she endorsing voting for Donald Trump, but look at the permutation here. So it sounds like, hey, vote for Trump first. I know it says or here, so it doesn't have, I guess it's more of a combination than a permutation. But it's like, regardless, that the words that come first is to vote for Trump first. And then if you can't, then vote green. I mean, it says or, but I mean, it's literally saying it's a permutation, right? First, vote for Trump, or if you can't vote Trump, then vote green. Not only is she endorsing voting Donald Trump, it's not even like, it's literally like the permutation. I guess she's putting voting for Donald Trump above voting for the Green Party. So she's gone completely insane into this. This is not the only one as well. Another one says, God, I hope the Dems lose Nevada. It's another one also that's hearted by the author, which is Jill Stein. And again, let's see, if the Democrats lose Nevada and the Green Party's not on the ballot, who are they going to lose to? I wonder who that is. Obviously, there's only one possibility in the sample space, right? The only possible outcome of the sample space, that if the Democrats lose, it would be obviously Trump winning, right? So this basically gets rid of the entire idea. And this is actually a really, really huge deal because this is the first time we've had like straight up confirmation that she's straight up endorsing voting for Donald Trump, supporting Donald Trump, because the other thing beforehand was always, oh, well, it's not pro-Trump. It's just sort of anti-Democrat. And it's actually pro the Green Party. It's not pro Donald Trump. And now she's literally just endorsing this out and out publicly, which is a huge thing. And I think that people really do need to know about this. And I think what would happen is a lot of people actually would probably be swayed if they knew that she straight up was just endorsing voting for Donald Trump. So this is something that's important to spread the word. How much of those people are going to end up voting for Kamala Harris? I'm not sure. That's probably not going to be as strong. However, there will be statistically, there has to be like a good amount of people, at least 20%, for example, and that's what could flip the election. And so there was a huge firestorm, all started by AOC. So if you guys haven't seen this, I have a video on this. But she actually went out on Twitter, went on Instagram Live responding to someone asking about how to tell their friends about who are Jill Stein's voters, that they're wasting their time and effort. She got a crazy amount of backlash for this. People went really crazy on her. But it's pretty insane because she's been vindicated again. So AOC looks to have like an impeccable record so far. I don't know if you guys remember, but I also did another video talking about how she was sort of sounding the alarm, saying, hey guys, Kamala Harris is not the establishment's pick once they replace Joe Biden. I want to warn you guys, etc. And we saw the Nancy Pelosi interview, and we saw Gavin Newsom. I actually didn't do a video on the Gavin Newsom clip, but Gavin Newsom is asked by the PodSave guys about what he thought about the switch, and he's joking. He's like, "Oh yeah, the switch was really open." He's laughing about it as a joke. Like they're all laughing about it, like it's just a joke that's accepted and everybody knows about it. And everything is crazy. Everyone's just laughing about it. He type of thing. It was crazy, right? And then Nancy Pelosi straight up says it. Kamala Harris was not what they were going to do. They wanted an open process. Now, whatever that means, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what the hell that could possibly be. Nobody else knows, right? So AOC being vindicated twice because, yes, this is literally predatory behavior just straight up, where it's like you're not even trying to run for this. You're just straight up trying to do this. And Nevada is going to be very close. And so, we can go back to the polls again. It was kind of mentioned a little bit already in the article that we saw. But we can see with these polls, right now she's only up by 0.5% points. Biden actually underperformed this state by quite a bit, like 2.5 points. So again, not a great sign for that. But in terms of like these sort of some of these Harris polls, right? We have these kinds of some Harris polls coming out for Nevada. So a lot of them are really close. It's not showing the I don't know if this is glitched out or maybe this is like I'm not sure if these ones are not showing the Nevada numbers for Harris. I don't know why they're not showing like the recent polls for Harris here. Okay, here we go. So I fixed it now. So, if you look at these polls here, you can see that a bunch of the polls have her at 1%. There's even this one poll that literally has them tied. I think is this one, 47-47 even, and Stein is getting 1%. This 1% could legitimately decide the election legitimately in Nevada. It definitely could. There's definitely pathways where, Jill Stein is able to, prevent her from winning Nevada and she loses the election. So in states like California and stuff, it's not really going to matter. Look, 2%. She's pulling a lot in Nevada, too, because there's probably like some blues in there that she's pulling 2%, like consistently 1 or 2%, massive numbers. West in this poll getting 2%. So the progressive impact in Nevada actually might be the strongest in any of the swing states. So she could legitimately flip the election, and she's basically just openly endorsing Donald Trump. So it's confirmed she's a scammer, a fraud, liar. And hopefully, something you can spread around so you can share this video out just to let people know. Jill Stein openly endorsing voting for Donald Trump, even over the Green Party, it looks like, which is crazy because you can just see the permutations. They're pretty insane stuff, man.